Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inappropriate Movie Database, the comedy game show about content warnings. I'm your host, Nick Martucci. I am so thrilled for tonight. This is going to be such a fun episode. I'm so happy these folks are here. I'm so happy you're watching, whether you're watching this live or you found this in the future somewhere, and, you've decided that this is how you're going to spend your next hour to hour and a half. I'm thrilled you're here. While you're here, if you aren't already, I would go over to the Facebook page if you're not a member already. If you search Inappropriate Movie Database or click the link in the description of this video, that's the best place to be a part of this show. We still have a couple of spots open for July shows, mostly Thursdays, including this coming Thursday when we do the sequel to this sequel episode. So if you want to be a contestant on the show, I would like to have you. Go now to that Facebook page. Right at the top of it, you'll see a pinned post with the July dates. If any of those dates look good to you, let me know. I will put you on the show. We're going to have so much fun. Also, if you don't like Facebook, you're right. Stay away from Facebook. Try Twitter or Instagram at IMDb Games. Same information is there. You can also find me there and ask to be on the show. I love having new people on the show. I also love having old friends on the show, and that's what we have today. We have people who have played this game before. This game tonight is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be really easy or unnecessarily difficult. I guess we will see. Tonight is supposed to be the easy one. We're doing sequels both shows this week. Tonight's sequels, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So just to clear things up right off the top, when I say easy sequels, that means franchise name, number. We're not dealing with colons. We're not dealing with subtitles. No sort of titular nonsense. Franchise name, number. I'm giving you that. I'm hoping that that'll help. That'll lead to some high scores tonight or the most frustration. Once you realize that you don't remember how many sequels exist. Also, just a fun thing, the time frame is going to be real limited because they didn't start putting numbers in sequels until the 70s, which is a thing that I don't know that I totally realized. Godfather Part 2 was the first sequel with a number in the title. Not valid for this show because there's the part in there. Again, that's how easy I'm trying to make this for you.
Oh, this is going to be frustrating.
It's going to be so frustrating. I'm going to spend this whole show telling you what the subtitle of the sequel that you've guessed is.
Yep.
I think I've over-explained it to the point where it can only be confusing, so let me bring in my guest tonight. Joining me on the show tonight are Jessica Mayotte, Josh Poirier, Lloyd, Legacy Sharp, and Marty Viscosi. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Nick.
Hello.
Good evening.
Let's start off because there was a little technical trouble on the last show. So unfortunately, she wasn't able to participate then. She's able to participate now. I'm so happy she's back on the show, fresh off her win on the 100th episode of this show.
Shared win.
It's still a win. Jessica, welcome back to the show.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight?
I have a cold, but I'm good otherwise. So
that's good. Aside from the cold, I don't know how to talk to people anymore is what I found out in that response. So I always ask for a form of this, and I think you figured it out at this point. Is there a sequel you really like that fits into this theme?
I actually like all the Men in Black movies, like all of them. I'm obsessed. I think they were all great.
It's such a fun series.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 of them do work for this show. Not Men in Black International. Which is fine. But no, especially that first one. That first one is so good.
Yeah.
And you know, we just passed. I remember in theaters seeing that, and I think it came out right around 4th of July, and how like hyped I was for that. Excellent choice. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Also returning to the show on the opposite end, somebody who's been on the show over 30 times. If you've seen an episode, chances are you've seen him on the show. Josh Poirier back on the show. Hey, Josh.
What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, yeah, sequels. I'm going to say it. My name says it. Is that it's probably the worst sequel numbering of all time was the First Blood movies. Because it went First Blood, then Rambo First Blood Part 2, then it jumped to Rambo 3. Where the hell is my Rambo 2 First Blood Part 3? I would like to know that, Stallone. But I know that doesn't fit into this.
But that's okay, because after Rambo 3 came Rambo.
Yeah. And then Rambo Last
Rambo Last Blood?
Last Dance?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It was Rambo
Last
versus Michael Jordan, right?
Yes, it was.
Two First, Two Blood.
Yeah, those always bothered me. Then it was. Okay.
No, I was going to say, challenged only by the Fast and Furious sequels as confusing.
And if they don't call Fast 10 Fasten Your Seatbelts, they really got a problem.
It would have been perfect, but I think it is FX.
Yeah, I know it is. In terms of best sequels, it's right behind me. Back to the Future 2 and 3.
I believe it's Part 2 and Part 3.
It probably is Part 2 and Part 3. And if you're going to be that semantic with me, I'm going to hate this show so much.
You always hate this show, so at least I can guarantee that much.
I love this show. What are you talking about? I would have been on the show 37 times if I didn't love it.
I will say though that you don't have to worry about me being that semantic. Those movies aren't on the list because they don't fit.
Yeah, I know.
Just don't throw a part anything into your guess, and you'll be okay. I'm doing fine.
It's so difficult. This is not the easy mode one. This is the hard mode one.
Again, you think this hurts. Spoiler for the next show. On Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on this channel, we're doing sequels hard mode, which means that all of the movies have no number in it signifying which part of the series it is. So it could just be absolutely anything. This is going to be a difficult episode for Lloyd. That episode would be impossible. I'm going to talk to him now. Returning to the show, Lloyd, Legacy Sharp. What's up, Lloyd?
Hi, Nick. You know, way back when this show kind of sort of first started, I had an infamous part of my being on here where I would guess the Power Rangers movie that I was not sure where it fell in the sequential or if there was a sequential. And I stormed off screen singing, God damn it, it already happened. It already happened. God damn it. And you said, Lloyd, if you had just said Power Rangers, I would have given it to you. Shows like this are where I should get my redemption, but given my track record, that's not guaranteed, so don't expect anything. But I'm happy to be here regardless.
I think you're going to do great tonight, Lloyd. Going through the list, I almost always get rid of movies that I know that people have played before. And I got rid of 2 movies from this list, not only that you've played, but you got correct.
Well, at least he's being fair. I agree.
So I'm hoping that your sequel knowledge is pretty good. Is there a sequel that you would like to bring to the group?
Well, I know what sequel I would not like to bring to the table, and that is Attack of the Clones, because it never happened. But it's also not listed as 2, so we won't discuss the second. The second trilogy wasn't bad. Just Attack of the Clones never happened. I'm not going to get into that right now. Similar time frame, though. I happen to be a huge fan of Spider-Man 2.
Perfect choice. Spider-Man 2, excellent.
I feel like Spider-Man 2 is the representation of every example of a movie that can be better than the original in a lot of ways, but also an example of where it should have ended. Because there are so many amazing part 2s, both in video games, in movies, whatever. And as soon as it gets to part 2 is a Mass Effect and all this stuff. Part 2 is a Zenith. And as soon as you get to part 3, Saints Row is another example. But part 3, it just went totally downhill. And I love Spider-Man 2 because that's where it should have stopped.
I will say, not giving anything away because I don't know if it'll come up, Sam Raimi has multiple great movies that fit this topic.
Yes, he does.
True.
So maybe keep that in mind. Excellent choice
Also,
of Spider-Man 2, though.
Quick note, I'm only talking about the Tobey Maguire series when I say that it should have stopped at part 2. Like, just that continuity, the Tobey Maguire continuity. Spider-Man 3 had its moments, but if it stopped at part 2, I wouldn't have complained. Dancing Peter Parker, I could have gotten that from the weird fan fiction.
No, they should have stopped it too, because Amazing Spider-Man 2 was awful.
Finally returning to the show. Always excited to have them here. Marty Viscosi's back. Hey, Marty.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight in the Midwest?
You know, it's Midwesty. We had a tornado warning the other day, so it's Midwesty.
And they aren't baking. They aren't baking.
I agree 100% with what Lloyd was saying about series that should have ended at 2, and my entry in that category is Shrek, but it is not my favorite sequel with a number. My favorite sequel with a number is by far Sinister 2. I love that movie. It's a perfect movie. It can do no wrong. James Ransone is gorgeous and he hits a kid with a truck. All the ghosts look amazing. It's really hard to make good looking ghosts. I like the lore that they added on from the first movie. I like creepy kids. That's one of my favorite tropes in any horror movie ever. Sinister 2 is a perfect movie, and I will be around in the Twin Cities if anybody wants to talk about it. It's summer, so if any cute girls want to talk about it, come find me after.
I've never Sinister's like a big movie that I need to see that I haven't. And I don't know if I was aware that there was a Sinister 2.
Listen, don't look at my Letterboxd history because it's a little. I've watched it 5 times so far since January. I really like Sinister 2. Like, it is not an exaggeration. Like, I have watched it probably upwards of 20 times since they put it on Netflix like 2 years ago. I really like that movie.
You're convincing me. I think I need to see. Well, first I need to see Sinister, but I need to see Sinister 2. Apparently, I like James Ransome. I've liked him since Tangerine.
I saw the Black Phone specifically because he was in it. So I don't know.
Can I change my answer?
No, Josh, you can't. This is Marty's time.
I'm sorry. I thought Marty's time was over. I'm sorry.
I'm an hour behind. More time.
Josh, what would you like to change your answer to?
Wolf Creek 2, because it was insane. Wolf Creek 2 is one of the most insane sequels of all time, especially when you consider how like visceral and like just disturbing the first movie was. The second movie, if you ever watch Wolf Creek 2, it's crazy. It's got one of the weirdest chase scenes I've ever seen, where he's just going out of his way to hit kangaroos on the highway, and it's weird. It's such a strange movie, but it's so perfectly weird, especially considering the first one was so visceral and disturbing.
I've never seen the first Wolf Creek either. Do I need to see that?
You do. I mean, Greg McLean, the director, is fantastic. He did a movie called Rogue about a crocodile in Australia, and it's just fantastic.
I will have to write these down. I feel like I watch a lot of horror, and it's bad that y'all named at least 4 that I haven't seen.
Same.
There also will be, spoiler alert, quite a bit of horror in the mix today, because horror movies love just throwing a number on there. So look out for that. Great answers all around. I think it's almost time to start this game. If this is your first time watching, here's what's going to happen tonight. I have gone to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and I have pulled parental warnings for a whole bunch of sequels. These warnings are wild. I don't know who writes them. I don't know why they write them. I don't know what sort of gratification they get from it. I'm so happy they do. These anonymous weirdos have allowed me to have over 100 episodes of this dumb game that we're going to keep doing till the end of time. I'm going to read these parental warnings. My friends here are going to try to figure out what sequels these warnings are from. And unless anybody wants to add anything else, I think it's time to get this game going. And to do that, Jessica, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
Would you like a movie from 1991, 2006, or 2019?
2006.
2006. All right. First sequel of the night from 2006 for 5 points under the category of violence and gore. A helicopter battle occurs. A bridge gets destroyed, and there are lots of explosions and shooting. All right. For 4 points under the category of frightening and intense scenes. The movie is really intense with nonstop, amazing but violent action sequences with blood. People are shot, killed, sometimes in weird, creative ways. This is by far the best, but also one of the most violent and intense films of the franchise. A lot of suspense and intense moments, some scary images are depicted. I love when a warning has a review. All right, for 3 points under violence and gore. A woman is killed by a detonation from a pill embedded in her skull. No explosion is seen, but we briefly see it pulled out of her during surgery. Both scenes are disturbing. Josh, you just keep buzzing in and out. Are you
I know.
I
don't know. It's bothering me because at one point, like the beginning of the clue says one movie, and then the end of the clue says a completely different movie.
All right, for 2 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, Hoffman's character lights up a cigarette in a public bathroom.
Oh boy. Oh God.
You know it.
Oh God, I'm gonna hate myself.
We got anything? No?
Oh,
Mm.
All right, final clue, and I'm wondering if this is going to help if you're not there already. For 1 point under frightening and intense scenes. On a plane, a man goes on about how he will kill Ethan's wife in front of him and make her cry and bleed.
Oh.
Josh has a guess. Anybody else? Lloyd also has a guess. Jessica also has a guess. Jessica, what do you think this movie is?
Oh, Final Destination 3?
Lloyd, what do you think?
Mission Impossible?
You want to add a number after that, Lloyd?
Yes, 3.
Josh, what do you think?
Mission Impossible 3.
This is Mission Impossible 3.
Whew.
Just an absolutely chilling Philip Seymour Hoffman performance in that movie, especially that monologue. If you've never seen that movie, look up that scene and then go watch the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
It's intense.
Such a great divergence from the absolute madcap insanity of Mission Impossible 2.
And I defend Mission Impossible 2. I think it's a fun movie. I don't know why people hate it.
I do too, because it was John Woo, and John Woo is fantastic. Mm-hmm. So it was fantastically John Woo. That's basically what the movie was.
And John Woo isn't for everybody.
In the first round, Josh and Lloyd tied at 1 point. Marty at 0, Jessica at -1. Josh, you get to pick this one. Do you want a movie from 1994, 1999, or 2001?
94.
94. From 1994 for 5 points under violence and gore. An elderly man is shot point blank range in the chest, but survives.
Oh, God.
Josh has a guess. Anybody else?
No, wait, I don't.
Josh doesn't have, nobody let Josh guess.
I just remembered that there's a subtitle to the sequel.
4 points under frightening and intense scenes. The Annihilator 2000 scene is funny, but maybe intense.
Oh,
Annihilator 2000.
wait, 94?
94. Josh, what do you think this movie is?
Actually, the years throw me off. That's the problem. The years throw me off.
All right, for 3 points under violence and gore, there is a large-scale shootout in a parking garage at the beginning of the film, and several carjackers are violently gunned down by other bad guys. Many bad guys are seen being shot and killed in this scene, and some blood can be seen on their shirts. The main character and other police officers participate in a gunfight with them, and much heavy gunfire is exchanged. I just see Josh.
Yeah,
What do you think, Josh?
I'm going to take a stab at this. RoboCop 3?
Is not RoboCop 3.
Written by Frank Miller.
Funny that he wrote. Are you sure? I thought RoboCop 2 was Frank Miller.
So was 3. You could tell because during the preview, or it was the line, "Oh, RoboCop, you have to take on my ninjas." And nobody loves ninjas more than Frank Miller.
It's just weird to me that he would direct the non-R-rated one.
It's true.
And we've already talked about RoboCop 3 more than any rational human being should. Moving on.
For 2 points under violence and gore, a police officer engages in a violent shootout with several guards inside the alien attack ride. Several men are shot.
Alien attack ride. Fuck. Oh, God. I'm going to hate myself in the morning.
For 1 point under frightening and intense scenes, most of the movie is not very intense, but there is a scene in which Axel saves 2 children from a malfunctioning theme park ride, and this is somewhat intense.
Oh, God. Fuck, it's tipping my fucking head.
Like, I very firmly feel like I should know it.
Oh, we've got an oh and a very calm buzz in. I'll go with the oh first. Josh, what do you think?
Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Jessica, what do you think?
Beverly Hills Cops 2, right?
This movie is Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Whoa.
The worst one.
I was like Axel. I was like Axel Rose? No.
Yeah, and I think in that scene, I could be mistaken. I know that this trivia is somewhere in the movie. I think it's that scene. The parents of the 2 children he saved are played by George Lucas and Carrie Fisher.
Wow. Wow.
That brings a lot of questions to the forefront.
Wow.
It's the only Beverly Hills Cop movie directed by a comedy director and the least funny Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Yeah, something wrong with that.
Scores are almost the same. Josh and Lloyd still at 1, Marty at 0, Jessica at -2. Lloyd, would you like a movie from 1981, 2010, or 2016?
Oh, God, what a leap. Quantum even. 2010.
2010. See if this is a movie anybody's seen. From 2010 for 5 points, under sex and nudity. But a man also suggests that with another character, he may be entering into a more stable, monogamous relationship. Again, I'll repeat that because it's a sentence that starts with but. But a man also suggests that with another character, he may be entering a more stable, monogamous relationship.
Really weird way to phrase an IMDb freaking movie warning clue thing. Word.
For 4 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking. During what he believes could be his final birthday party, a man gets drunk to the delight of the party's attendees, but the chagrin of his friends. And the movie makes it clear we're not supposed to like it either.
Sounds like something I should know.
For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, a man attacks a car race by pummeling several and splitting one in half. This is a very intense scene for people who haven't seen many movies.
A car race? Attacks a car race?
It's a very intense scene for people who haven't seen many movies, according to anonymous IMDb user. Jessica's buzzed in. Anybody else? Jessica, what do you think this movie is?
I'm probably wrong. Is it Iron Man 3?
It is not Iron Man 3.
Oh,
Shoot. God, you've got it next
Gosh, I
to it.
do have to read this next clue, but you know that.
Yeah.
For 2 points under violence and gore. In the main character's house, he and his friend have a cataclysmic fight while wearing their respective suits. Josh has a guess. Does anybody else want to guess?
No.
All right, Josh, what do you think?
I think Jessica may have been off by 1 number. I think it's Iron Man 2.
That's the heartbreak answer. This is Iron Man 2.
Oh my God.
I picked up on it the second she said Iron Man 3. I was like, oh yeah, Whiplash.
Yeah.
He's the one that...
Around 2010. Holy shit.
Final clue in that under sex and nudity in the opening scene when the main character is making his grand entrance to introduce the newly reopened Stark Expo. At the end of his grand entrance, he hired some backup dancers whom are dancing seductively with sexy outfits inspired by his suit.
That would have done it.
What?
That would've done it. Fucking A, that would have done it. I remember that so well because my cousin had a fit over it in places I'm not going to describe on the internet.
The clue with the main character's last name in it also would have done it for me.
Yeah. Probably doesn't help that
Lloyd has a story. Marty understands what the clues are.
Yeah, I'm here to play. I'm here to win.
Lloyd's cousin wrote that clue.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Very descriptive.
Josh is now at 3, Lloyd at 1, Marty at 0, Jessica at -3. Marty, would you like a sequel from 1975 to 1989 or 2005?
1989.
1989.
I'm trying to get these horror ones going.
So you just assume that the 80s is a horror one?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Hey,
I feel like it's the best chances.
At least the wall came down.
Well, let's see if this helps. 1989 for 5 points under violence and gore. The appearance of a creature in the final scene is extremely grotesque and disturbing. Marty might be onto something.
That sounds like a rom-com to me.
For 4 points under violence and gore, a female scientist is killed off screen by the creature. Her bloody corpse is seen hanging in through the ceiling.
89?
89.
Say it's that, but it's not.
For 3 points under sex and nudity, the lead male character is naked in a telepod, but no frontal nudity is seen.
Oh.
Josh has a guess.
Yeah.
Marty has a guess. Anybody else want to guess? Jessica also has a guess. Lloyd, you got anything?
You know what? Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
No.
Marty, what do you think this movie is? Nope.
Never mind.
Josh, what
I thought I knew it, and then I realized it had a subtitle too.
Is this the Eric Stoltz Fly 2?
This is the Eric Stoltz The Fly 2.
Yeah,
No, I would have never guessed that. Thank God I didn't try.
I would have been wrong. So,
Gross
So
movie.
you all
Really
made the right
disgusting movie.
decision.
Really disgusting movie. The Fly One is one of the most disturbing films, in my opinion, that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Fly One, top movie. Like that's
Yes.
top
Here's
50,
what a
maybe
West Side
higher
was.
than that.
Yeah.
Here's what
it
the
is.
West Side was. Whenever somebody said, "Hey, Lloyd, what scares you the most?" I'd be like, "Okay, here's the thing," and then I play the.
And the thing is, it's like fantastic movie too. So.
also in The Fly 2 under violence and gore. Speaking of how horrible this movie is, a woman dies while giving birth to a cocoon containing a human baby boy within, which gets quite bloody and white goo oozes out of the cocoon. And frightening and intense scenes, much more gruesome and disturbing than the original 1986 film.
Which is saying something.
Never thought The Fly 2 would make a great movie for a pro-choice argument.
I feel like it must be, like, I've never seen this movie and I never will, but I feel like the support must be pretty explicit if it comes up.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, it is actually worth seeing. Believe it or not, it's if you like horror and gore, it's worth seeing. If you don't, it's not.
Josh is
I don't
now
like
at
it that much.
Josh is now at 6, Lloyd at 1, Marty at 0, Jessica at -3. Still plenty of points on the board. Jessica, we're back to you. Would you like a movie from 1983, 2002, or 2022?
83.
83. Yeah, let's not do the movie from this year.
Too soon?
Too soon. Yeah, exactly.
This is a movie from 1983 for 5 points, under violence and gore. A man has his cheek slashed open by a knife and then is stabbed.
What? Read that again?
A man has his cheek slashed open by a knife and then is stabbed.
Wait, no, that wasn't it.
What changed, Josh? What changed?
I realized that I think it was a part. I don't think it was a number.
You are somebody, I'm pretty sure you've buzzed in at almost every clue and you've answered like 5 times.
I have, but I got 6 points, so there.
Yeah, I can't argue with what's working. For 4
Wow.
points, under violence and gore, an old woman has a large, heavy shovel hit over the back of her head. The impact is so strong that the chair she is sitting in breaks apart.
Was it?
Maybe Josh has a guess. We'll see in a second or two.
Marty's got to guess first.
This is one of the few times I feel like I need to go in reverse order. Because I don't trust Josh sitting there knowing that other people are buzzing in. Josh, what do you think this movie is?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
Lloyd, what do you think this movie is?
Is this Psycho 2?
Marty, what do you think this movie is?
I was also going to guess Psycho 2, and now I feel like Josh is right, but I'm going to stick with Psycho 2.
Psycho 2 and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 are 2 of my favorite sequels. This one is Psycho 2.
Hey,
Hey, on the board.
Thank you
by the way,
for the
Nick,
Thank
Nick,
you,
I still-
Grandpa. Scared the hell out of me. I appreciate it. Love you,
I
guys.
still would have guessed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Nick.
But I didn't trust you to. After I'm done reading these clues, remind me. I will say it won't come up because it came up in a recent episode, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 has one of my favorite clues in this game, and I will read it after the rest of
Okay.
Psycho 2. Violence and gore. A toilet is overflowing with blood, and a bloody towel is pulled out with it, along with blood oozing from the drain of a bathtub.
Yeah.
Sex and nudity. We hear sounds of people having sex in a motel room. Nothing is seen. And sex and nudity in the beginning. It starts from the shower scene from the previous film where the woman gets stabbed repeatedly. No nudity is shown.
It was between
I was
those two for
afraid
me.
to go to the bathroom for a week.
I mean, it is a tall order trying to be a sequel to Psycho 20 years later, and it delivers.
It does.
My dad, in elementary school, my dad told me the plot of Psycho as a bedtime story once. Which should tell you everything about my relationship with my father that you need to know.
All right, brief
Yeah,
detour.
but how was your relationship? How's your relationship with mother?
She divorced him.
Brief detour. This is the 5-point clue for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Under sex and nudity, this movie has extensive amount of strong graphic violence and gore. For those watching this movie, please enjoy the flick and feel comfortable to seeing when viewing this type of film. Enjoy. Peace.
I love it.
I
love it.
Did Borat like that?
Again, that clue is under sex and nudity.
Why?
Well, that's certainly an interpretation.
Who's letting their 5-year-old watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
We got a close game. Josh and Lloyd both at 5, Marty at 4, Jessica at -3.
Have I ever had 5 points before?
I think you have. You've never ended the game with 5 points, though.
That makes sense.
Actually, I don't know. I think your high score is 6. You just won off of the 4.
Yeah, I thought 4 was
This game
my
is
high
bullshit.
I'm like, and I love that
Nick,
because
it's
I was
your
told
game.
later on, if I didn't take a guess that entire game and ended on 0, I could have won.
Here's 3 years for Josh that he's going to love. Josh, do you want a movie from 2001, 2003, or 2014?
I protest. Let's go with 2001.
2001.
Never forget.
2001. I'm gonna guess 2001 part 2.
That's called 2010. The
I know.
year we made contact.
Or if you're in Boston, 2013, Marathon Man.
Oh, that got me. 2001 for 5 points under sex and nudity. Well, it's still just as raunchy as the first one. The sexual humor happens a little less frequently than the first one. Josh has raised his hand. I don't know if he has a guess, though. Marty, what do you think this movie is?
American Pie 2.
Josh, what do you think?
American Pie 2.
This is not American Pie 2.
Son of a bitch.
Wow.
I don't know if that movie exists. It's just
It sure does.
right.
It does.
Excellent.
And it's the only American Pie movie that would fit in this theme.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's not American Wedding or American Reunion or all of the American Pies presentings.
I did not know American Wedding was a sequel to
American Pie presents Marathon Mile.
For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, some may find the butler disturbing, as he is quite creepy in the way that he speaks and acts. Lloyd has a guess. Anybody else? Lloyd, what do you think this movie is?
Is this Scary Movie 2?
Lloyd, this movie is Scary Movie 2. Chris Elliott as the butler with the weird hands.
Yep. I
Josh
remember
has
that.
left the Zoom, unhappy with the way that this night is.
I remember specifically saying, I wonder if Alfred would want to work with this guy, and if Batman would have to kill him. It was a weird question, but in 2001, it is something that I pondered.
24 hours ago, I was talking about this movie with a friend.
Why?
24. Because I work at a church, and the Bullets, which is a great start to a story.
Just end the story
And-
there.
I work at a church, and sometimes the bulletin images are really weird, like the clip art that we put on bulletins, but it all comes from the same like 3 graphic design companies. And the image for the bulletin was like this very weird, like hand extending thing, and we were joking about like take my good hand, like that thing.
AKA, they never forgot.
Yeah, I will send that picture in the group chat for this this day later.
Also in Scary Movie 2, under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a young man is a stoner. He is seen smoking it / high from weed throughout the movie. He is attacked by a weed monster who rolls him up in a joint and smokes him.
Yep.
Violence and gore, a young woman gets involved in a fight with a possessed cat. She endures a number of cuts and scratches. The cat is evidently fake and all meant in comical fashion. I feel like evidently isn't the word they wanted to use there. They tell me this cat is fake. And frightening and intense scenes, the possessed girl at the beginning of the film parodies The Exorcist by spinning her head around.
Right round.
Lloyd, you've never been at 9 points, but you are right now in the lead. Josh is at 4, Marty at 3, Jessica at -3.
Yeah.
Lloyd, would you like a movie from 1987, 1993, or 2006?
Oh man, it's more than shit. Either the 90s or the 2000s. Oh god, such a
Or the
80s. 2006.
80s. 80s.
All right, 2006. For 5 points, under sex and nudity, 2 teen girls undress and climb into tanning beds. Their breasts are shown. 2 hands shot up real quick in a way
Hands
that is
immediately.
concerning.
God damn.
So which one is it? Which one is it? Shit.
Well, Lloyd has 9 points. I'm going to go to you first. What do you think this movie is?
Final Destination 3?
Marty, what do you think?
I also think it's Final Destination 3. In my defense, I was a 12-year-old boy when that movie came out.
I had a feeling that clue was going to be too easy if you had seen the movie, and it is Final Destination 3. What a scene that turns from one way to another way real quick.
Yes.
And real terribly.
Very formative. It's really, really formative.
That would have fit the twofer of the Sammy James movies that sexual awakening movies and movies that traumatized us.
People are gonna find this shocking if they know me personally, but that is not my biggest takeaway from that film.
What's your biggest takeaway from that film, Lloyd?
Where it went after that.
Yeah. It is brutal.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a good movie, but it's one of the best Final Destination movies, and I love it.
Hey,
After
it's memorable, for better or worse. Kind of like 9/11.
What are you trying to say, Josh?
I was gonna say after all this, I actually have a treatise that I made, or like a write-up that I made for the Final Destination movies that I think is actually a really interesting take on them. Basically, I'm wondering who's protecting these people. Like, is it another
God.
entity?
I would know. Tony Todd.
This has to be, as far as like horror franchises go, the series that I love the most but hate the most movies of.
Yeah.
I think I like maybe 2.5 Final Destination movies, but I love the series.
My horror marathon friend and I watched them last fall and agreed. The third was the first one I've seen, and it's the one I've seen the most times. Agreed.
Also in Final Destination 3, under violence and gore, a teen boy shoots several pigeons using a nail gun. 2 pigeons fall to the floor dead. Violence and gore, a teen boy's head is crushed by 2 gym weights. Violence and gore, fireworks shoot towards several people. They duck. The fireworks hit a cherry picker that is jolted, and the cherry picker falls on a teen boy on the ground, vertically cutting him in half. And Violence and Gore, a roller coaster begins its run. The cars begin to break apart, wheels fly off, cars separate from the track, the restraints unlock, and riders are thrown off the ride. Teen boy dangles from the side of the speeding coaster. He is knocked loose by another piece and slams into a beam.
Unfun fact, any of those, and I would have guessed it properly.
I always describe the Final Destination movies as what if Pee Wee Herman was the Jigsaw killer?
Oh God.
There was a logging truck accident on the highway in Minneapolis like 2 days ago.
No.
I came along like after the fact and I was like, oh shit.
That's by far the best opening set piece. That's the best opening set piece, I think, in all the movies.
I think so.
And it wasn't the best movie by far, but that opening set piece was fantastic.
So right now, Josh and Lloyd are back to tied positions at 9 each. Marty right behind at 8, Jessica at -3. Marty, would you like a movie from 1990, 2011, or 2018?
1990.
1990.
I'm sticking with my strategy that did not work. Doing the oldest.
What do you mean it didn't work? I gave you a horror movie.
You sure did, but it wasn't one that I know. It backfired on me.
All right, 1990 for 5 points under sex and nudity. For a few seconds, a man plays a pinball game that has women lying in odd positions.
Okay.
Don't everybody rush to buzz in at once.
Yeah.
4 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Towards the end of the movie, there is a scene where the main character's son smokes a cigarette, although he discards it eventually, and no real intake of smoke was absorbed.
So far, this just sounds like a bad take on the misadventures of Ed Grimmel.
What a reference.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For 3 points under violence and gore, the main character's son punches a bully. He gains respect.
Oh,
Josh has a guess. Anybody else?
No, I don't, Nick.
Okay, Lloyd. I will be asking each of you individually every round from now on. Josh, what do you think this movie is?
just Rocky V.
It sure is Rocky V.
Damn.
What an awful movie.
Uh-huh. The good thing about the Rocky movies is the worst movie we can all agree on.
Yeah. I actually bought the Rocky series on DVD and threw away Rocky V.
Yeah. Also in Rocky V, under frightening and intense scenes, the climactic street fight is very tense. And violence and gore, Tommy Gunn punches other boxers as he wins during a montage of the main character training him.
Actually, interesting story about the actor who played Tommy Gunn, or the boxer who played Tommy Gunn, Tommy Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
He was HIV. He was found HIV positive, so he lost his boxing career because of it. But then he found out 10 years later that he was HIV negative the entire time.
Wow.
So basically, he lost his entire career because of a false test, a false positive.
That is a fun fact.
It's not a fun fact. It's an interesting fact.
Josh is now at 12, Lloyd at 9, Marty at 8, Jessica at -3. Marty, Marty, you just picked that one. Did I? No, we do. Okay. No, I'm misreading my own things. We're at the last go around. 4 movies remain, 1 more for each of you. That means there's still 20 points on the board, and this can go in any direction.
Probably
Jessica,
won't though.
Jessica, unfortunately, I don't have a big selection for you to pick from. So would you like a movie from 1987, 2011, or 2012?
We'll go 87.
87.
Yeah.
It's mommy.
All right. 1987 for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes. Lots of prolonged action, violence, and arguing, although some, especially the arguing, is meant to be funny.
Wasted all my money.
Josh got a lot from that arguing tip.
Yeah.
I am shocked by that. Josh, tell me what this movie is.
I'm actually going by the year here,
Okay.
and by something you said earlier.
Uh-huh.
Evil Dead 2.
This movie is not Evil Dead 2.
All right. Well,
Uh-huh.
that's your stab.
Good guess. There is action, violence, and arguing in that movie.
Yes, there is.
Mostly
arguing.
self-arguing, but arguing nonetheless.
I know the Evil Dead series in like the back of my hand, so that's why 87. I was like, oh, it's got to be.
For 4 points under profanity, less profanity than the first film.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got arguing in it too, right?
Yes.
That's a better clue if you're not playing the sequels episode.
Yeah.
For 3 points under sex and nudity, there is a scene at the Playboy Mansion in which many women in revealing bathing suits are seen. No nudity, but very provocative.
There's no nudity with a scene in the Playboy Mansion. You're not accurately capturing the Playboy Mansion.
Mm. Seems like a failure on the cinematographer's part, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 points under violence and gore. There's an extended chase scene in which 2 cops commandeer a cement truck. They crash into some other cars along the way, but no one is injured.
Oh God.
This doesn't sound like Evil Dead 2 anymore.
Nor a
It's
bad
weird.
episode.
Honestly, in Evil Dead, the scene at the Playboy Mansion full of nudity.
I
That
know.
should have given it away. All right, final clue that I'm so excited to read under violence and gore. Some bad guys shoot at Axel, Rosewood, and Taggart outside of the strip club, and a small shootout occurs. The car that the bad guys are driving crashes, but they get away, and no one is injured during this whole scene. I only see 2 hands, which I am surprised about. Nothing?
What year is this?
1987.
Oh God. Yep, I'm gonna hate myself. I know it.
Oh, I know it too. Marty, you want to make Lloyd hate himself?
I'm trying to remember the name of the one that it was the
Oh
second.
my
to
God,
know.
no, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Hold on. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Lloyd is jumping on a bullet to both take the point and give you the point because I'm going to ask him first, and you apparently don't know what this movie is.
I know what it is. I can't remember the words.
Lloyd, what is this movie?
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Marty, what is this movie?
Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Josh, what is this movie?
Well, it's obviously the movie that had Guns N' Roses in it, the Deadpool from no, it's Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I
unfortunately,
messed up
Beverly
the
Hills
numbers.
Cop 3 came out in 1994 and was the first movie we did tonight.
I messed up my numbers.
Even though Lloyd gave you the answer.
I thought he was wrong. I didn't know he was wrong until Josh said the right one.
See,
I messed up
stopped
my
you from saying-
numbers.
I stopped you from saying it because I didn't want to risk cheating, but I just remembered it, and I'm like, "Fuck! I can't let this. I can't let this go. I have to take the guess." But if I listened to you, I would have been. It's okay. It happens.
Oh, you are all delights.
that was almost as good as Matt Shore in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Marty is having a me moment from the 250 IMDb
Go.
list episode. They just can't handle it.
Yeah, I've never seen Marty have to take a lap.
And I've taken so many. It's nice to be in this driver's seat for a change.
Are they coming back?
I'm having a moment on the floor with the cat.
As long as they're right there, we can go through these scores. Josh, you're at 12. Lloyd, you're at 10. Marty at 7. Jessica at -3. Also, Lloyd, congratulations. That's the first time you've hit double digits in this game.
Yes.
All right. Josh, would you like a movie from 1975, 1981, or 2005?
E1.
81?
Yeah.
It's so much like, yeah, just kill me now.
Yes.
Make it painless.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
All right. Well, I will say now that we're past it, I'm not going to go back to it. 1975 was the first movie to ever get just title number, and that's French Connection 2, if that would have helped anybody.
Yeah, I would not have done that.
1975. Nope, you picked the right one, maybe. 1981 for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes. The film is quite creepy and has an intense, scary atmosphere that may frighten some. Another creepy movie.
Yeah.
Although with mom, it's more like a nail gun to the testicles.
For 4 points under violence and gore, a man stabs a bed where an inappropriate body part could go.
I'm really grateful. Don't mention.
Marty has a guess. Josh has a guess.
Wait.
Josh doesn't have a guess. Josh, what are you doing?
Wait, I do.
Josh has a guess.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, what do you think this movie is?
Oh wait, no, it was a part. It was a part.
You and I will always be there.
No, it was a part.
Josh is
I
falling
don't have a
apart. Marty, what do you think this movie is?
I'm gonna guess Halloween 2.
You are going to guess correctly. This movie
Hey.
is Halloween 2.
Oh my Lord.
Famously takes place mostly on November 1st.
Lord.
It's easy to mess up by like one number. It's fine. November 1st, October 31st, Beverly
Yeah,
Hills
we've all
Cop
messed
2,
up by
Beverly
one
Hills
number.
Cop 3. If this comes down to 2 points, I'm gonna be so mad.
That is almost enough to make me want to take a Marty lap.
Also in Halloween 2, violence and gore, a woman is seen with a slashed shoulder after being attacked and is seen getting syringes into her arm by a doctor. The doctor first draws blood to find her type, then injects her with an anesthetic. Both shots are shown very up close and in high definition, and it looks like an authentic injection. Frightening and intense scenes. In addition to showing far more blood than the original, many of the scenes in the sequel take place in a hospital environment, including a couple of operating rooms and very graphic medical depictions. Depending on the viewer, this may be cause for more phobic responses than anything the original ever could. And violence and gore in the flashback to the ending of the first film. The villain attacks a young woman and they struggle as he attempts to strangle her. The doctor interrupts them and shoots the villain 6 times and he falls off the balcony. Later, the doctor checks that the villain has disappeared and finds blood on the ground.
I will never forgive the Halloween franchise for Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
Halloween water. I will never forgive them for Halloween water.
Halloween is also a movie my dad told me the plot of as a bedtime story once as a child.
I think what I love about Halloween, if you find it, you gotta search. I don't know what you would search, but there's an interview that Jamie Lee Curtis gives where Halloween H2O was completely her idea.
Oh,
She came up and was like, everybody's still around. We should make this movie. And she got John Carpenter on board and she got a bunch of people on board. And then they all dropped out and she was forced to make this movie that she hated.
I mean, I just hate the title. I just really hate the title. I mean, movies get that great karate sequence.
2 movies remain. Josh at 12, Marty at 11, Lloyd at 10, Jessica at -3.
Wow.
But I love that you're here.
It's all
Lloyd, we're gonna jump away from the 80s for a little bit. Would you like a movie from 2002, 2014, or 2022?
Too soon. 2022. No. 2002.
2002.
20 years ago. Not now. Not never now. I mean, it's technically now, but still never now. Please. Thanks.
What?
Just go with it.
Sometimes Lloyd just needs to talk. And we let him.
What the hell just happened? Is this
Life,
from 2022 or 2000? I think we
Life.
just went back in time.
2002 for 5 points under sex and nudity. A life-size toy's naked rear is seen briefly.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That slipped.
No, it didn't. You just buzz in on the 5-point clue in every round and then never guess on the 5-point clue.
No, actually, that was literally the Parkinson's. Click of the button.
All right, for 4
Yeah,
points.
Nick. Don't you feel like a jerk now?
For 4 points under sex and nudity, a boy is embarrassed at his father dating the school principal. Under sex and nudity.
What?
For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, a man perilously climbs into the sleigh in midair. Josh has a guess. Anybody else? Marty has a guess. Lloyd or Jessica, anything? Marty, what do you think this movie is?
The Santa Claus 2?
Josh, what do you think?
Santa Claus 2.
This is The Santa Claus 2.
God damn it. Taking a lap. That's it. Taking a lap.
Can I recoup a point from saying the wrong number before because I said the Santa Claus instead of just Santa Claus, not to throw shade, but
Whoa, no.
You have been on this show long enough to know I'm not going to do that.
I would like to try. Those mouths don't get fed.
By the way, the Santa Claus movies, more terrifying body horror than the Fly movies.
Other clues in the Santa Claus 2. Under violence and gore, the battle takes place between elves and a group of life-size toy soldiers. However, any violence is purely slapstick. And sex and nudity. A major theme of the film is Scott needing to find a wife by Christmas Eve. In one scene, he goes on a date with a woman, but it ends badly when she embarrasses him with an overzealous song and dance routine in the middle of a restaurant. And she twists his reaction into making it seem like he's the one at fault and walks out.
That's sex and nudity?
Uh-huh. So is a boy being embarrassed that his father's dating the principal. Turns out whoever wanted to warn you about the Santa Claus 2 doesn't fully understand sex or nudity.
No.
One movie remains. Josh, you're at 15. Marty, you're at 14. Lloyd, you're at 10. Jessica's at -3.
Also, I want to commend Jessica's lighting. It's amazing. It's a lighting.
It's the exact opposite of you. It's like red and blue. It's weird.
It changes color.
All right, Marty, you get last pick. So make a good choice. Would you like a movie from 1991, 2001, or 2019?
1991. I think.
1991.
They think.
I think.
They think.
You think.
We're gonna find out.
Let's see how this works out for you. Lloyd, feel free to buzz in. You still have a shot at tying this.
Yeah, but I also have a shot at losing everything. So you know how
No,
that
you
goes.
don't. If you guessed on all 5 of these and got all 5 of them wrong, you'd have your second highest score.
I love it.
All right, final movie from 1991 for 5 points under violence and gore. People throw food in a restaurant. People are humiliated, but not harmed.
That's just kindergarten.
What happened at work today?
For 4
That's just
points,
work today.
Under profanity, various moments of crude humor throughout the film, including projectile vomiting, loud defecation by a dog, nose picking, cockroaches in food, and so forth.
I dread to find out what the and so forth is.
I love it and so forth at the end of a random collection of things.
Yes.
It's
like,
too
and
late to
whatnot,
pick a
and
different
such
year.
And the like, we know, etc.
Can I pick a different year? Too late.
Did you pick the wrong year, Marty?
I did. This is the second time that's happened to me tonight.
Yeah. For 3 points, under violence and gore, a boy rigs a doorbell. Later in the film, a woman rings the doorbell and she is electrified. It leaves her clothes tattered and her hair in a Bride of Frankenstein look. She then collapses.
One of two.
Nope.
No, it's not-
2
it's not that.
points. Honestly, the game's still not said and won't be said until the last clue. For 2 points, under profanity. Also of note is the antisocial behavior presented by the 2 main child actors. This includes obscene gestures, including the middle finger, dangerous pranks, and non-stop disrespectful demeanors towards various targets around the film.
What?
Son of a-
Oh wait. Oh wait.
Oh, wait.
Oh wait.
Josh, are you going to end this game?
I might tie.
You can't tie, Josh. Oh, no, I guess you
I
can. You
really
can
hope you're
get this
wrong.
wrong. Josh, what is this movie?
Problem Child 2.
Josh, you didn't tie the game. You won the game. This is Problem Child 2. Marty, you picked one of the hardest movies on this list.
You're welcome.
Objectively speaking.
Excellent. I love to make my life more difficult.
Don't we all? That's why we keep living every day.
But
Very good at it.
there's still a little bit of goodness in those final scores. Before I get to that, final clue under violence and gore: Junior and Trixie are very devious and threaten each other throughout the movie. Would that have helped anybody else?
Yes.
Yes.
Immensely.
Yes.
No. Not the
So Marty,
slightest.
you're the only one who's just never doesn't know a single thing about. Nor should you. Nobody should know about Problem Child.
It's
I
just
was-
Yeah.
something you cross paths and you remember it.
Problem
Yeah.
Child 2 is just a box at a Blockbuster.
I
I'm
was 15
not
in
sure it's a
91.
full movie, even though I
was-
have clues here.
I was 15 in 91, so it was in that range where movies where I would have seen.
I wasn't born until the next year.
Yeah, you probably should have stopped picking movies that came out before you were born.
I don't know. I feel like it sometimes works for me.
Sometimes.
I
Well,
don't know.
that was Problem Child 2. This was Inappropriate Movie Database. Our final scores tonight: Jessica at -3, Lloyd at 10, Marty at 14, but Josh with that solidifying his lead, 17 points, making Josh the winner tonight.
I think that's my highest score ever.
It might be. But, take comfort, Marty. It was more than 2.
I want you to know, Nick, as soon as you said the scores, I did that math and definitely had the internal moment of like, okay. Like, I'm ahead of you on that one. Don't worry.
This was such a delightful episode. I had so much fun. I hope that wasn't too terrible for all of you. Before we go, if there is anything you want to promote, anywhere you want to be found, or just any last words, Lloyd, I'll start with you.
Well, for my last words, I just want to say thank you to the good God above that may or may not exist for allowing me to get my first ever 10-point score in this game, because it will never get any better than this. And also because I didn't win, it will definitely never get any better than this. But I have this and I will cherish it until I don't anymore. As for where I can be found and what's coming up and stuff like that, I am going to be in East Boston this Thursday at Eastie Farms with Like to Laugh Productions. Or if you're going to be seeing this after Thursday, it already happened. Why weren't you there? I'm sad. And I'm also going to be in New Hampshire twice this week as my karaoke alter ego, Michael Legacy Jackson, on Wednesday, 3 p.m. karaoke on deck. Saturday, night shift at 8 p.m. For everything else, find me on TikTok. If you're there, if you're not, don't start. It's terrible, especially for the children. At Lloyd Legacy 617 or on Twitter at Lloyd Legacy 617. Don't start there if you haven't already, because Elon Musk is pulling out the deal. And if you are on Instagram, first of all, why? Secondly, Lloyd Legacy 617 there as well. And if you're on Facebook, then I'm not going to tell you where to find me on there, because you shouldn't be there either.
Also, Facebook's probably the easiest place to find anybody.
Yeah, unfortunately. Lloyd Legacy Sharp on Facebook, if you dare. That's your
Hell
problem.
yeah. Lloyd, thank you. Jessica, is there anything you want to say?
Not really. No, I'm good.
I hope you come back. That was you're still great, and I love having you on this show.
It's just fun to socialize for a little bit, you know?
Sometimes it's just
Get out of
nice
the
to do
house.
something different for an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
Marty, anything you want to tell the people about?
Sure. I'm in the Twin Cities, so I don't do comedy or anything like that. I just live here. So if you're in the Twin Cities, you should come say hi. We should be friends. I'm in the market for a girlfriend, not a boyfriend. Those are gross, but a girlfriend.
Fair.
I can be found on. Hi. I can be found on Instagram baking things at madeby.marty. Hi.
You want to say hi? You're a crazy butt.
Perfect.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh my god.
Aw.
I can be found on Instagram baking things at madeby.marty. And everybody should watch Sinister 2. I have hyped it up way more than it's worth, but everybody should watch Sinister 2.
And finally, our winner, Josh.
Well, I'm breaking out into comedy, back into comedy in August, end of August, early September. I'm still writing
No,
some new
not right
stuff. I'm taking my Tommy Wiseau hair and in the comedy scene.
Yeah, you need to cut your hair, Josh. It's getting long.
Yeah, I know. Well, I looked in the mirror. I was like, "Oh, hi, Josh." I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
I don't know how you do it.
But I'm going to be breaking out. I got some new.
It's to go to France.
Yeah, that's your friends. It's all your friends.
So on a picture.
Yeah. Can you say
I'm giving
goodnight?
I'm giving the rest of my time to
Good
that kid. He's better than anybody else on the show.
Goodnight.
Oh,
You find the kid.
I think that's the first child on this show.
Hey.
Go, cookies with daddy.
Be
Go.
so happy,
All right, well.
Sorry.
Love that kid.
He asked nicely to say hi, so you know.
Totally okay.
Oh no. Jeez.
He actually
bring him back.
every time I watch the show, he wants to like wave at the screen every time. Like you can say hi, but they're not gonna like say anything back. It's funny.
I'll try to plan out a wave in future episodes, just to kind of you can time it out.
That'd be awesome. He'd love it. Oh my god.
Yes, one time per episode, everybody is required to give at least one nod towards, in real time.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you once again, Jessica Mayotte, Josh Poirier, Marty Viscosi, Lloyd Legacy Sharp. I'm Nick Martucci. You can find me on all social media at Blundering Idiom. Find the show on Facebook, search Inappropriate Movie Database, or click the link in the description. Twitter and Instagram at IMDb Game. We do this show 2 times a week, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the channel you're watching. So that makes it easy. Like, subscribe, do YouTuber stuff. And if you want to be a part of the show, like I said, we still have spots available. I think we have 1 spot for every Thursday left. So if you're free on a Thursday night, you want to do this show, I want to have you on, reach out. Anybody can tell you it's fun, aside from the people who won't come back and won't tell me why. But it's a good time. I love doing this. I love having you all on. I love you for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and good night, everybody.